Hey guys, today I'm filming a very exciting video. In today's video, I'll be showing you all of the makeup products I used up in 2016. I did film one of these videos last year. I will have it linked up here in case you would like to check it out. I did use up some deluxe size samples as well as full size products. For some of the deluxe size samples, I had a hard time figuring out how much value to account for them, but I tried to figure it out based on how much product was in the sample compared to the full size products. I was able to use up 75 makeup items this year, totaling $665. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I used up so many products and I saved up my empties all year long, which honestly was not a bother for me whatsoever. I put them in a bag in a corner out of the way. They never bothered me, and to see everything right here in front of me is so rewarding and so exciting. So in this video, I have organized everything by category. I will show you everything I used up, give you a brief summary of my thoughts, tell you whether I would repurchase them or not. If you would like more in-depth thoughts and reviews on any of these products, please check out the playlist I'm linking up here. This is my Project Use It Up 2016 / Project 50 Pan playlist. In those videos, I did go in-depth review every single one of these items, so make sure you check those videos for more information. I do have all the products listed in the description box so you can figure out which video you need to watch. I will also have all the products listed and linked in the description box of this video with the prices for you guys. Starting with primers, I did finish 7. First is the travel size of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. This did not do anything for me. I would not repurchase this. I have the travel size of the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. This is my all-time favorite primer to fill in my pores and wrinkles in my forehead. This is something I definitely will repurchase. I finished a deluxe sample size of the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base Visage. This is a lotiony consistency, but it does have some shimmer in it. I do not like the shimmer. This does not do anything for my skin. I do have very oily skin with large pores. This is probably something that would be better for dry skin or normal skin, so I will not repurchase this. I finished a deluxe sample size of the MAC Strobe Cream. This is also a really nice lotiony consistency. It has a beautiful glow to it. I think this is nice, but again, it is not ideal for my oily skin type. I think this would be amazing for anybody with dry or normal skin, but I will not be repurchasing this. I finished a deluxe sample size of the Makeup Forever Step 1 Nourishing Primer. I really like this. This also did give a nice glow. My face makeup has never looked so good as when I used this, but I got very oily very fast. I had to touch up way more throughout the day than I'm really able to or wanting to. So this is a product I may get another sample of to try again, but it isn't something that I love enough to buy in the full size, unfortunately. Next, I have a little foil packet sample of the Kat Von D Lock-It Featherweight Primer. I am including this as one of my items because this actually took me a couple weeks to use up. This was a nice consistency, but this is such a basic primer. It didn't do anything to control my oils. Again, this is probably one better for dry or normal skin, but I don't really see how the price can be justified because it didn't seem to do much of anything. And lastly, I finished up a sample of the Benefit Porefessional Matte Rescue. I'm also counting this because it took me a couple weeks to use up that little sample. This was an okay product. It was a jelly consistency, but it wasn't sticky. It blended out nicely. It kept me kind of matte, but nothing amazingly significant enough that I would purchase this in the full size. Moving on to foundation, I do have 2 full-size foundations and a sample. The first is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in 110 Porcelain. I've talked about this foundation so much. I hate it. This is light medium coverage with 2 layers. It does not hold up well against my oil. It breaks down. It does not last all day. Never, ever will I repurchase this. I finished the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade 1W1 Bone. This is my holy grail foundation, medium buildable to full coverage, a really nice lightweight consistency that does not get cakey. It doesn't feel heavy. This lasts all day in me. Holds up against my oil pretty well. Absolutely will repurchase this. And here I have a little sample of the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade 1-in-1 Ivory Nude. Bone is a bit too dark, so I tried out this shade. This is more fair, but it does have that neutral undertone, and I really do need the yellow. So I'm gonna choose Bone over Ivory Nude. Moving on to concealer, I did finish 5. First is the MAC ProLongwear Concealer in the shade NC15. I do have some product left and it will no longer pump out. This is my holy grail blemish concealer. It has incredibly full coverage, a nice satin finish. It's also great for the under eyes, but I purchase it again and again for the blemishes. Definitely will repurchase this one. Next, I finished up a mini of the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I have the shade 01 Light. I've also in store tried out 05 Extra Light. Extra Light is very fair and yellow. That would be great for a blemish concealer for me. And 01 Light is more of a very fair neutral undertone, which is great to conceal under the eyes. This gives great full coverage, a nice satin finish. So we'll see in the future, but I was really impressed and totally would purchase this. I finished the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer in the shade 10 Ivory. It's not light enough for me. It does not give me a ton of coverage. I was not impressed and I will not repurchase it. Next, I finished up the Maybelline Master Conceal Concealer in the shade Fair. It comes in this squeeze tube, but I put all of the product into this empty lip gloss wand you can purchase off of eBay or Amazon. I do not like squeeze tube for concealers, and this is just so much easier to apply with a doe foot. So if you are like me, then I would definitely recommend purchasing these. They're very inexpensive. But for this concealer, this did have nice full coverage, but it really had kind of a glowy natural finish. I am oily all over, even under my eyes, so I definitely do not like the finish of this, and the color is too peachy to use on my skin, so I definitely would not purchase this again. My last concealer is the Boo Boo Cover Up in the shade Light. I also bought an empty lip gloss wand to put the products into. I love this concealer. It gives great full coverage. It does have a satin finish. This only comes in a few shades, unfortunately. The light shade is great for the under eye because it has a bit of a peachy tone to it, but not too peach, so I am able to correct and conceal with this. I would contemplate purchasing this in the future. For face powder, I used up 14. I finished the MAC Shaping Powder in Emphasize. This is a pressed under eye setting highlighting powder. Emphasize is an off-white with some shimmer. This is a fantastic highlighting under eye setting powder for someone with fair skin. I definitely will purchase this again. I also finished the Wet n Wild Mattifying Powder. This is a dupe for the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder Pressed. This used to be a holy grail. I don't love it as much anymore. It does set the under eye with only a little bit of product, but I definitely don't think I'm going to be repurchasing this. Next, I used up the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. You can use this as a priming powder, touch-up powder, setting powder. My favorite way to use this was as a priming powder, but it didn't really do much for me. Even though this was an interesting product, it was really just a gimmick, and I definitely will not repurchase it. Then I finished two loose powders. First is the NYX HD powder. This is a dupe for the Makeup Forever HD powder. I do not like this. I do not feel like it's very finely milled. It feels really chalky on the skin. I don't think it looks good. I definitely will not repurchase this. My second loose powder is my NYX Mineral Set It Don't Fret It. I have the shade Light Medium. This is a great powder. It gives a little bit of color to your skin, but no coverage. But the formula of this is so silky smooth. It just glides over pores and wrinkles to make you look flawless. I definitely will repurchase this in the future. If I'm wanting a loose powder, this is the best one I've ever used. Next, for overall face setting powders, I have a few. First is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless in the shade 100 Translucent. It is not actually translucent, very fair with a yellow undertone. The color matches me perfectly. This does give great coverage. It helps keep me matte. One of the best drugstore powders I've ever used, and I will continue to repurchase this. Then I finished 4 of the NYX Set It Don't Fret It Press Powder in the shade number 1 Ivory. Also very fair with a yellow undertone. This gives great coverage. It does help keep me matte. I would say that I love the Maybelline and the NYX powders equally. They're both holy grail powders to me. For touch-up powders, I have 4. The first 2 I have are some tester samples of the Estee Lauder Double Matte Powder. I have the shade Transparent and Light. This is a really nice touch-up powder. It did a really nice job of soaking up the oil, giving a little bit of color, but not much. And it did not look cakey whatsoever, but the drugstore alternative I'm about to show you I think works just as well, if not better, so I do not think these are worth the money. I finished up 2 of the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Transparent. This is my all-time favorite touch-up powder because this soaks up my oil so nicely. It doesn't make me look powdery. I love this so much. I've tried a bunch of different touch-up powders. This is my holy grail, so absolutely will repurchase this. And lastly, for face, I have 4 setting sprays and one set of blotting papers. I have the deluxe sample size of the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I don't find that this does much for me, so I will not repurchase this. I finished up the e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist Inset, a really affordable drugstore setting spray, but I don't find this does anything for me either. I finished the Mary Kay Finishing Spray, which is made by Scandinavia. Worked okay, but did nothing amazing. I also finished up the MAC Fix Plus. Out of all of these sprays, this one is my favorite, but this isn't a setting spray. I like to use this to take away any powdery look. I used to love this a lot back in the day, but honestly, I don't feel like it is a necessity for me, and I am no longer going to repurchase this. I've mentioned several times, I do not feel like setting sprays do anything for me in general. I will no longer purchase setting sprays, and I'm trying to use up all the ones that I have. And my blotting papers would be the e.l.f. On the Spot Blot Mattifying Blotting Papers. I love these. I think they're amazing. They come in this really great plastic case that has a mirror. The concept is this little sponge where you pick up blotting papers, you blot, and then you peel it right off, throw it away, pick up a new one. Absolutely amazing. And the blotting papers themselves do a great job of soaking up oil without removing any makeup. So I definitely will repurchase this in the future. I think it is amazing, not gimmicky at all. Moving on to brow products, I finished up 12. First, I have my NYX Eyebrow Shaper Wax Pencil. This is a wax pencil. I use this as a base every day on my brows whenever I'm using my pencil and powder method. If you like to use just powder, I highly recommend a wax because it will help it really stick to your skin and to the brow hairs. Such an underrated product, but one I never want to live without. So absolutely will repurchase this. I finished up 7 brow pencils this year, 1 travel size and 6 full size. So the travel size I used up is the Benefit Goof Proof Eyebrow Pencil in the shade number 2, which is a really great taupey shade for me. This almost has a teardrop shape to it and just help you fill in your brows really quickly. I love the formula. It draws onto skin and onto brow hair. I definitely will repurchase this. I finished the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. It is a really great cool tone color, but this is a bit dark for me. This pencil is very creamy and very, very pigmented, so it is really easy to have really crazy brows. This is okay, but it doesn't beat up my holy grail, so for now, I'm saying I would not repurchase it. I used up the ColourPop Eyebrow Pencil in the shade Blondie. This is a fantastic, very, very light, cool tone color. I have actually never found a blonde shade this light, which is why I love it. Great formula, draws onto brow hair and onto skin. This has a precise tip, but not as precise as the NYX. I absolutely will repurchase this. I finished the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Blonde. I cannot stand it. I went through this in a second because this did not draw onto skin. I went through this so quickly because I went over the same spot over and over and over again. This does not work for me at all. It is too waxy. But because of the formula, I definitely will not repurchase this. Then I finished 3 of the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe, my Holy Grail eyebrow pencil. This has a really nice, precise tip to it. This draws onto brow hair as well as skin. Really nice, long lasting. This is the eyebrow pencil I will continue to repurchase forever. I finished 1 brow powder, the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in the shade Blonde. Comes with 2 different shades in a wax. I finished up the lightest shade here. It was a really, really great light warm tone color that I loved using on my brows. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal powder. This is incredibly pigmented, very creamy. This is a product that is being discontinued, but you can find these on sale on the Lorac website for $11 each. I have another one right now, but I might need another backup. Highly, highly recommend and definitely will repurchase this. I used up the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade Light Medium. This is a light golden blonde color with some metallic shimmer to it, which I was really afraid of, but it doesn't look shimmery on the brows, but it does emphasize the brow hairs. This did hold my brows in place pretty well. This was okay. I'm not going to repurchase it though. I also finished the NYX Tinted Brown Mascara in the shade Blonde. As you can see, it is a very, very light, cool tone color. This is amazing. Because this is lighter than my other brow products, it does emphasize every single hair and makes my brows look more natural. I prefer this over the L'Oreal, and I definitely will repurchase this. My last brow product is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. I was using this as a brow highlight. These pencils take so long to use. I used up the entire pencil, and then I even dug all the way into it and used up every last little bit. This was a nice brow bone highlight for me because I am so fair that I'm able to pull off stark white, but I don't like this enough to repurchase it, but I was determined to finish it up. Moving on to some more eye products, I used up 1 primer, 1 cream shadow, and 2 single shadows. The primer is the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. This is amazing. I use this every single day for about a year and a half, so you totally get your money's worth. It holds my eyeshadows in place all day without creasing. I definitely will repurchase this. I finished up my Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze, which is one of my greatest makeup achievements ever. Cream shadows take so incredibly long to use up, even when you try to use them every single day. I love the formula of the Color Tattoos, and I love the Bad to the Bronze shade. It is a really pretty metallic cool tone bronze. I actually will repurchase this because it is my favorite shade of the Color Tattoos. I used up 2 of the Wet n Wild single shadows in Brulee, a really great matte cream shade that I can use as a brow bone highlight, but I am currently using this to set my eye primer. This is absolutely amazing. I love the formula and the shade. I will continue to repurchase this. Moving on to eyeliner, I used up 3 liquid liners and 1 eyeliner eraser. First, I finished the Wet n Wild Pro Line Felt Tip Eyeliner. This has a really great felt tip to it, but this dried up incredibly quickly, but it doesn't last that long and it doesn't come with much product to begin with, so I will not repurchase this. I used up the Essence Waterproof Eyeliner Pen. This is also a felt tip pen. This is a really great waterproof formula. It is a matte black, but this also dried up really quickly, but I am not going to repurchase this. I finished the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Liner in the shade Ultra Black. You have to get that shade. This is a really nice brush tip liner. This was really pigmented matte black, and this lasted me a pretty long time. The best drugstore liner I've ever used. I will continue to repurchase this. I used up the Hard Candy Oopsie Proof Eyeliner Eraser. This is a liquid liner, but inside of this is actually makeup remover, but it has that liquid liner brush tip so you can clean up your eyeliner. This was really nice, but I feel like it actually dried out pretty quickly. Moving on to mascara, I finished 10, 4 full size, 6 deluxe size. I finished the L'Oreal Telescopic Shotgun Extensions mascara. This has been discontinued. It did give some nice length, but that was it. I didn't feel like it was special enough to go purchase it again. I finished the Maybelline Colossal Chaotic mascara. This did give some nice thickness and volume. I do like it, but I have other Maybelline mascaras I prefer, so I will not repurchase this. I finished the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. This is a natural bristle brush with a dry formula. This does give me really nice length. I'm only going to purchase this if I can get it on sale or get some of the deluxe size minis because this does dry out incredibly fast. I used up the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. It gave really nice length, volume, fluttery lashes, really black lashes. This was a great mascara, but it just costs way too much for a mascara. I finished a deluxe size of the Clinique High Impact Mascara, natural bristle brush, wet formula. This is just a very standard mascara. It gives a bit of volume, but nothing to write home about. Definitely wouldn't repurchase this. I finished a deluxe size of the NARS Audacious Mascara. This is a plastic bristle wand. This is very pokey. This mascara does give a little bit of length, but nothing significant. Definitely not worth the price. Will not repurchase it. I finished the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara Plastic Bristle Wand. This does have a nice wet formula. I like the little bit of a curve to it. It does give some lift. This does give nice length, but I do not think I would purchase this in a full size. I do believe that the Maybelline Lash Sensational is supposed to be a dupe of this. I finished the Dolce & Gabbana Passion Eyes Mascara. This is in between a wet and dry formula, and it does have a plastic bristle wand that looks just like Benefit Roller Lash. I loved it the first month I used it, but as it started to dry out, it wasn't depositing enough product on my lashes and giving enough pigment, but this did give nice length. This is a crazy high-end mascara. Will not repurchase. I finished the Lancome Hypnose Drama. It is a wet formula natural bristle brush. I love the curve to it. This gives length, volume, fluttery lashes, really black lashes. One of my all-time favorite Holy Grail mascaras. Definitely will repurchase. Lastly, I finished the Urban Decay Perversion. It is a wet formula, a natural bristle brush. Gives great black thick, volumized lashes, definitely will repurchase. One of the best high mascaras I've ever used. Moving on to lip balm, I finished up 9. I finished the EOS Smooth Sphere in the shade Vanilla Mint. I love the Vanilla Mint scent. I think it is amazing. I love the texture of EOS lip balms. I think they're not too thick, not too thin. They actually moisturize my lips very nicely. I do love the spheres to keep around the house. Totally will repurchase this scent. I finished 2 of the EOS Smooth Sphere in the Sweet Mint scent. Absolutely love this. Holy Grail, will continue to repurchase. I finished 4 of the EOS Smooth Stick and Sweet Mint, the exact same formula as the spheres. They're just in 2 different formats. I love to keep this in my purse, my pocket, great for on the go. My Holy Grail lip balm, I always want to have the spheres and the sticks going at all times. I finished up 2 deluxe sizes of the Jack Black Intense Therapy Liquid Lip Balm. I have 2 different scents. I have Natural Mint and Shea Butter. I will not repurchase the Shea Butter, but I definitely will repurchase the Natural Mint. I totally recommend these. For colored lip products, I finished 3, which I'm so excited about. My biggest accomplishments were definitely the Maybelline Color Tattoo and these colored lip products. I finished the Revlon lip butter in the shade Berry Smoothie. I love the lip butters. They have about a medium opacity. They are super comfortable. They have a nice glossy sheen to them that makes your lips look a little bit fuller. Unfortunately, the lip butters have been discontinued, but if I was going to purchase one shade, it would be Berry Smoothie. It is just such a really nice everyday shade. I used up the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the shade Primrose, a great cream finish, a really nice wearable blue tone pink. It is a good drugstore alternative to MAC Snob. One of my Holy Grail lipsticks. I love the formula. I love this color. I actually already repurchased it. I finished 1 of the Buxom Full On Lip Polishes in the shade Sandy, the Perfect Peachy Nude. My favorite high-end gloss formula, gives a light opacity, a really pretty glossy sheen. I love the minty tingle. Already repurchased this. So those were all of the makeup empties, but I did finish up 3 nail polishes that I did not include in my total, but I wanted to share with you guys. I finished the Revlon Color Stay Base Coat. This has long been discontinued. My amazing friend Amanda Alexander sent me 2 backups, one that I am using now. I used nail polish thinner from Sally Beauty Supply to get as much out of this as I could. I love the way that this makes my nails look and feel. It creates a great canvas, helps my nail polish last longer. I definitely will continue to repurchase this if I can find it online. Let me know your favorite still available base coat. I finished up China Glaze Aquadelic. You cannot be able to tell because I've had it kind of rolling around in a bag. If I had left it sitting up straight, you would see it's all the way down here. There was still a little bit of product left. I tried to use a nail polish thinner, but it was just way too goopy. This is my favorite shade ever. This is even closer to a Tiffany's Blue than For Audrey is. Opaque in 2 coats. This is my go-to toe color. Right now I'm using China Glaze For Audrey instead. Once I finish that, I will go back to this, one of my favorite polishes of all time. And lastly, I finished up a top coat. This is the Glisten and Glow HK Girl Top Coat. Completely gone. This is amazing. It makes my nails look so shiny and glossy. I am able to get a full week out of my manicure when I use this top coat. This is something you have to buy online. Totally worth it, and I will repurchase it. So now I'm going to have the total on the screen of how many products and how much value-wise I used up per category. I'm very proud of everything I used up. I'm going to do this video next year as well. I just think they are so fun. I love doing them, and I would love to know what products you have used up this year, and I would love to know your thoughts on any of these items. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.